Welcome back to more EU4 with me, Daniel, doing Italy things. Last episode, we got Sicily back. Hopefully this episode we'll be doing more Italy things. Having said that, our overextension is over 100%, which means we're going to get some bad events, including rebels coming up at an accelerated rate, which is absolutely terrible. So this may just be a putting out all the fires episode, depending how it goes. We shall see. We do want to get some more heavy ships. So we're going to round up to 25, round these up to 20, get one more transport because I like round numbers. Maybe we'll grab another 5 galleys. Galleons, and another 5 galliots. That's not confusing at all. Eventually, naval units in a stack do attrition. Eventually. But we should still be fine there. Bohemia wants money. Sure, I don't think we have enough. I think we can just about spare that. Speaking of which, we should go through another building rush. So in terms of options, manufactories are going to be very helpful because of an institution later. But anywhere that has more than one building slot available is going to get one, even if it's not worth a huge amount of money. So there we go. That's knocked us down to 10,000. So we're going to start there. We'll probably have another building spree later. Gascony wants money as well. We're making such a ridiculous amount of money, and actually we should look at this. It's funny. So there's a lot of data you can get out of the ledger in this game. But if we look at income, we have 294.65 gold as our total. Obviously, there's a lot of expenses that then mean you get to the net number that you earn. But let's look at ours compared to the others. So this is ranked not quite top to bottom. It is now. The next closest is the Ottomans, who make about 3/4 of the amount that we make. Russia's not far behind either. If we look at the breakdown, though, so in terms of taxation, we only make, out of all the nations in the world, through taxing the population, we're only 4th. Interesting that Shun is higher as well, which really does show you they must have eaten most of the Ming Empire. We're not even really that close, but Russia in particular has an enormous amount of land, so it's able to tax. In terms of production, we're not first either. We're close, but we're second to the Ottomans. But it's trade where we really do our thing. We are leagues ahead of everybody else. But notice how under the trade column, a lot of different nations come to the top. So Portugal, even though it's not that big a nation, is second. The Netherlands, same boat, is third. There are other things to bear in mind, though. Because we've been at war constantly, we're making 29 gold a month in war reparations right now. So over 1/4 of our profit is coming out of other nations paying us from war. It's mad. It is mad. Anyway, I know everybody's not a big fan of statistics, but I always find that kind of interesting to look at. Silly, last episode, got very lucky. They got very close to being vassalized, but only because of our ridiculous overextension and aggressive expansion problems did they not. It's still something I'm thinking about. We just can't do anything to make it happen yet. Great Britain's declared on Ottawa. Switzerland has entered a coalition against us. So I made the decision between episodes to try and sit on my hands just briefly. Spain could be declared on right now without Portugal getting involved, and that is very tempting. But I have to try and get these provinces at least cored first. If we can do that, and we still don't have any other massive nation joining a coalition against us, then we might be in for the fun times, but we will see. Also, we're going to stop trying to sit on claiming in Toulouse, and we're going to start using our diplomats just to try and make sure our relations are up with our allies. because we haven't done it in a while. We'll make sure that is maximized. I guess we could also have a look around the rest of the world, just to see what's going on. So we're going to turn the speed down just so we don't lag horrendously. So Europe, obviously we see this a lot. Parallel authority. I guess we'll do the estates too while this event's come up. They still love us. We are going to see some more land. Thank you. Doesn't really matter in this case, so we'll just do that. So yeah, we see a lot of Europe while we're playing, because we're playing a nation in Europe. Africa we can see most of now. Morocco's been broken apart a little bit. Somalia has just become what Ethiopia normally is. Quite a big kill there. Not a hugely different Africa to normal. Well, at least in this game. In the Middle East, we have this enormous Timurids, which is very unusual because it is a notoriously unstable nation that the AI tends to play very, very poorly. So for them to still be here and to be a regional power is very, very interesting. What's also very interesting is India. No nation within India has really taken the advantage over anybody else. So normally, it's a contest between Barmanis and Vijayanagar. But they're so evenly balanced. Although, interestingly, that the latter will ally me, which is... We're not going to do that, but it's hilarious. Normally, one of these wipes out the other and then just takes over the entirety of India. That hasn't happened in this game. And I think it's because there's almost a perfect four-way balance between Malwa, Barmanis, Vijayanagar, and Bengal. None of them seem to be able to get an advantage over the other. It's very interesting. We don't know a huge amount about China other than Shun must be massive, and we know that Japan has finally formed because we can see it. Having said that, it is clearly losing a war to Shun. So it might well just become stuck on its island again. Russia is all the way across now, which is terrifying. And we may start to see a Russian colony in North America. They don't always do that, but the AI does have the capacity to do it. Australia is Spanish. Nobody's touched New Zealand. And the Ring of Fire over here is just that. It's an absolute car crash of different mini-nations. As for the Americas, South America is still just Portugal and its colonies, almost exclusively. Caribbean is all Spanish still. Mexico is slowly becoming more and more Portuguese. And North America, east side is almost exclusively just British colonies. West side is the Zuni Federation, which is a beautiful pink color, with a little bit of this is the one weird thing that's happened. So there's a Vijayanagar colony over here. This does not normally happen. It is very, very strange. They clearly won't be able to keep it in the long run, but it's cute. So yes, that's a little summary at the very least of what the rest of the world in this game looks like. If anybody's played this game and has any stories of any of their really crazy worlds, let me know. I always like to hear that stuff. Pictures and videos are also cool. Yes, sitting on our hands is not my specialty. It is definitely going to be for our benefit because, well, our manpower cap is now 190,000. It is a little bit misleading. We have a military leader that increases it, which we wouldn't normally do. The Ottomans are in a coalition against us as well now, so we have to be really cautious. It's why I was very tempted to declare on Spain, but ultimately I didn't. Oh, we lost the general because of illness. Let's get a new one recruited. They're okay, they're not bad. He says it's a 5-4-3-3 leader. Normally that would be awesome. We've just been spoiled. So we do have to watch. And the other thing, too, that we do have to think about, if Spain and the Ottomans stay in a coalition together against me, we're going to have to break out before Austria can join them as well. We are not going to take a new idea group this time. We're going to wait so we can get diplomatic tech 19 when it comes, because the war galleon is very, very helpful. We're definitely going to want it when it comes out, and it is available to us. But we're still okay. We just need to get our manpower back. We haven't had an overextension event, which was very lucky. Because when they do happen, they were very bad, but we did not have to deal with one. We got very, very fortunate. Excellent vintage just increases our, increases our safety, effectively, by making us less susceptible to unrest. We're just saying that, well, wine's good, so we'll keep the population drunk. We're going to do some military drilling. It is a bit risky, because we're on the board with a few nations that might well want to fire a coalition on us. But that will increase our stats of our troops if that comes. And speaking of increasing stats, it is expensive, but I'm wondering if we need to increase any of our fort levels. And we only want to increase fort levels in places that actually have a fort. I know that's a dumb question, potentially, to say. But I don't want to build more forts than I already have. I already have an obscene amount of forts. But the reason why our army tradition is so incredibly good is because of that very point. Just having forts active is a very, very big help. Yeah, it's plus 0.47, so you lose army tradition pretty quickly, but as your base, it's a 5% decay, but we have it down to 3.65 at the very least, and then, yeah, 0.47 of that is negated by our fully maintained forts. The game's actually telling us we should have more forts than this, I just refuse. We definitely don't need more forts than this. The game is just overzealous when it comes to forts. It's to do with your overall development and how many forts it thinks you should have. But we have more than enough. Honestly, way too many, but I'm just not going to get rid of them. We can make another state, so we're going to. I don't know where Raskia is. I want to see which one it is, because it says that's the most valuable one we have. Here it is. It's all Serbian culture. So, culture map. I don't use the culture map very often, so enjoy it. It's very pretty, I just don't use it very often. It helps you work out how many provinces of a certain culture there are, because when it comes to culture, you can either add it as a promoted culture, which costs you diplomatic points, or you can convert it, which still costs you diplomatic points, but it will convert it to one of your own culture groups already. And the advantage of that is you can only have so many maximum promoted culture groups at a time. Serbian, though, I mean, in terms of provinces, is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 provinces in this game are Serbian. I mean, it's a lot more than some of the others. So, for example, Slovene is in 4. Croatian is in 6. Bosnian is in 6. And Albanian is in 4. This is important for us because this is not our culture group. So when you look at Italy, as an example, because we are Italy, all of these are accepted cultures. No questions asked. It doesn't matter how many provinces have of each here. It's irrelevant. But because these guys are in a completely different culture group, it becomes very relevant. And Serbian, in all honesty, with 10 provinces, that's quite a lot to have in this area of the world. So it might well be worth keeping as a promoted culture. Greek is the same boat. Greece has a lot of provinces in its culture, so when we get to dealing with Greece, we will almost certainly just make Greek a promoted culture. There's a lot of provinces in here. And then when you look at Turkish, I mean, there's absolutely tons. And same for Egyptian. So that they are all very likely to become promoted cultures. But it's something at least I wanted to graphically show, because I'm very bad at remembering to do that, because I don't think about it very much. We can't do it right now, though, because you need to have at least 20 development in your states to do it. So that's why I was thinking about it. Because Berber is an option technically down here, too. So if we look at... Here we go. So in terms of options, we could choose to have Berber be a promoted culture. But I don't think we're going to. There are a few provinces over here that are Berber. It's a real scattered mess. That is definitely not going to be a priority for a promoted culture. So Raskia, we're going to make a state, first of all. Core it. Is it going to ask us from the parliament seat? Doesn't look like it, so we're going to get away with it there. And then in terms of culture, yeah, Serbian is now at 4%. It's at 54 development. Technically, Berber's at 55, but we're probably not going to make it that way. So yeah, so we've got that confirmed. We do have Tunisian as a promoted culture. I don't know if that will be the case long term. We only have 4 maximum promoted cultures. That number can grow, but we're not there yet. Speaking of grow, I'm going to make this a level 3 advisor. Costs us more money per month, but we have the money available, so we're going to do it. Anyway, that was a quick run through on cultures and the very, very pretty maps that it makes. And now I have to watch like a hawk to make sure we don't get wrecked by this Spanish-Ottoman coalition that could potentially ruin our day. Are we up to our army limit? We're not. We can deal with that, that is for sure. So, land units, 20 stack. And you know what? No. We're going to do mercenaries because we're still not that high on our manpower. We have space for 27 more troops. We're going to probably go slightly over. We're going to take this Grand Company. Put it in Ancona. We'll put our own general on it, which is why I like set gain these. You don't have to rely on another group's stack. We can just use our own. Oh, wow, it's not a very good leader. We'll use it for now, but I'm not very happy about it. Only real downside to having mercenaries, though, other than their built-in man cap, power cap, can't drill them. Too many liberties? I don't think so. This event is so silly. I will cost myself 2 prestige for 1 Republican tradition, given I'm going to get it back in a year. That's terrible. Do I have any active claims against the Ottomans? I do, but not very many. I'm going to start trying to get a couple more claims against them, I think. What? Oh my word. 2.33% chance every month. Yeah, we can't be that bad for Spain. Oh my word. Oh wow. Spain's got no manpower again. So, hypothetically, we wouldn't declare war on the Ottomans directly because this would be a pain of alliances. Portugal still would not jump in. They wouldn't jump in on our side either, because they're allied to Spain, which is fair. Why wouldn't Poland jump in? Poland still likes Spain for some baffling reason. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but okay. I mean, they are both Catholic, I guess. Other than that, that doesn't make a huge amount of sense. If I was to declare on Spain, though, it would mean I could put in Britain, I mean, Gascony, it doesn't matter. And Bohemia. The numbers would be almost the same. That would be quite dangerous, so we're not going to do that. At least not yet. Again, we're fighting this timer against Austria. We have to make sure that either there is no coalition against us by the time that Austria can join it, or we have to attack it before that can happen. It's got to be one or the other. Yes, Poland, you can have money. At least you should be able to stand on our 2 feet navally against a lot of this. Oh, speaking of navally, another admiral died. Inconvenient. Get a backup. Oh, dear lord. Having 3 siege on an admiral is just depressing. Oh, terrible. Strasbourg has gone back into the coalition against us, whatever you want to do. Got another core. Isn't that nice? Convenient that Messina's a level 4 fort already in case we do get coalition attacked. Because that'll be a pain to look after otherwise. We're going to have to start rejecting some nations' requests for money. I especially wanted to give money down here to Alodia, though, when they asked, because they need it. They're going to need it to get those Mamlukian separatists off. At least now they can afford to buy the troops to deal with it, anyway. We're helping. Somalia has rebels. We're not helping that, that is for sure. We would be very happy to see that broken down. I wonder if we can get lucky and have the Ottomans or Spain attack somebody else first. We're going to have to watch very closely. I also wonder if... I know we don't have a spare diplomat right now. We could possibly try and reduce Poland's opinion of Spain. That won't matter. If they attack me, Poland will defend unless they're at war and getting absolutely wrecked. Mali sold a province to Morocco. Oh, because they are having rebel issues out the wazoo. Understandable. How are they struggling so badly with their roles? They have 18,000 troops. Like, come on, take them. There you go. Do they hire mercenaries to do that? Yeah, how could they? They must have had, because they didn't have enough manpower to build an army. And then they didn't use them? That's because the 7k, I bet, is the mercenary stack. The AI is weird. It doesn't make a lot of sense a lot of the time. Speaking of things that don't make a lot of sense, I've been sitting on a potential building upgrade. So, the Royal Palace... it's not that important right now. But we're going to do it, otherwise I'm going to forget to do it. Might as well. It's better to upgrade it than not upgrade it, and it was only about a third of our money, so it's really not that big a deal. No more Ottawa. See you later. Yeah, Britain really spent a lot of time just munching through the native population. Really everything except the Attahachie, Zuni, and Chickasaw Federation. And the Chickasaw Federation's really border goring up the Attahachie Federation. It's really stuck in the middle. What is the next idea for maritime? Ship's penny. Just cheaper ships. Yeah, definitely not a priority. Not bad, but it's definitely not a game changer. Ooh, we have an improved military leader. Shame it was the bad one, but at least he's better than he was. And Silly has tried to put a claim on us. How adorable. Thinks it's people. Also weird that the British king is called Frederick I. Very Prussian sounding. I'm sure it's fine with no negative consequences for us. I guess because these guys are alive, do we just want to go hunt pirates in the... I'm not sure if they're technically in the Venetian node or the Ragusan node, but clearly the Venetian node is worth a lot more to us, so let's go and beat those up. Or at least prevent them from stealing from us, anyway. Yep. They are no longer taking any value offers. Awesome. And yeah, so they're sat there doing nothing, so it's not as if that those ships cost us any more maintenance when they're not. They cost us some sailors, but we are making we are getting 541 each month. We're not making them per se, and using 456, so it's fine. Oh, speaking of federations, Britain just declared on the Attahachie Federation. RIP. Is the 13 colonies alone has more troops than the Attahachie Federation? Let alone if you count, you know, Newfoundland with 47,000 troops. Yeah, these colonies are starting to get pretty big. Hopefully they don't get too big for Britain too soon, because then they're going to try and rebel. I mean, this one can. 13 colonies has a 54.8% liberty desire. If it gets over 50, people can help join it. Have it break away. Newfoundland's at 40. It's very, very close. Makes me wonder what some of these other colonies' numbers are at. Spanish West Indies is at 33, so that's not that bad. And then we look at Portugal's. There we go, it's this list. 42, 31, 45. So Peru's quite close. 33, 40. We want to keep an eye on, especially the Portuguese holdings, because Britain is a nice ally to have, but ultimately, if they lose this one province of Calais, they are going to be useless as an ally, so they won't really matter. It's only because they can get their troops onto the European mainland that they are of any use to me. So if they lose that capacity, then they're no use. The Ottomans have a lot of rebels again. Interesting. And yes, nations are still slowly trickling in and adding to the coalition. So they're clearly not scared of, well, independently they're scared of me, but they are still slowly joining. So we do want to keep watching. Nothing really in this part of the world that's that scary. Oh. Oh. Our spies inform us that Spain is considering attacking Wurundjeri. We're safe, it's not us. And we only found that out because of our spy networking skills. So I mean, that's still important. They're not thinking of attacking us. We are going to totally sabotage their recruitment, though. So they are thinking of attacking. They're just not thinking of attacking us yet. But then again, which would be more difficult? This nation, which is the one province minor, with military tech level 9 and 10,000 troops, or, you know, attacking me, 200,000 troops at tech level 18 with allies. So you can understand why they're trying to take out the little fish first. We do want to watch, though. We need to keep our eyes very, very peeled. The hope is if they do declare war on another nation, they might just yeet out of the coalition. Oh, Lodi would join our fight against Spain too now. That's cute. Unfortunately, Portugal would join Spain. So clearly we're not going to do that. Yeah, they are attacking Wurundjeri. Interesting that if I attack the Ottomans that Portugal... Okay, Portugal... Well, they have a penalty for being in another war. They still wouldn't join even if it wasn't there, though. They still have war exhaustion, but they would attack otherwise. Alodia won't because they like the Ottomans for some reason. Even though they're the wrong religion. Probably because of their mutual hatred of the Mamluks. Interesting. We're clearly not going to do this either, because this would, even with all of the allies that would join us, we would be slightly outnumbered, but it would be the bigger issue of just being so horribly spread out. I don't want to ally the big green blob in the east. They're allied to Bohemia, though, which is very, very interesting. They're still guaranteeing Lithuania. But that would mean their only real targets to attack are Denmark and well, Denmark, Poland, and the Ottomans. And because the Caspian Sea acts weirdly in this game, and it doesn't technically count as a sea zone, I know it's weird. These guys technically don't have a mutual sea zone, so you wouldn't be able to claim Turkey as Russia right now. If it was on the on this area within the Black Sea, very different. But yeah, these two sea zones don't act as actual water. It's very, very strange. You can't build ships in it, for example. Not that you would probably want to do that, but you can't. Yeah, this has been quite a chill, well, I say chill episode. We've been on tender hooks wondering if we're going to get attacked by the Ottomans and Spain simultaneously. So chill is not exactly the word I would use. But we have managed to sit on our hands long enough to have about 2/3 of our maximum manpower back. So for me, that's pretty impressive. Yes, Morocco, you can have open borders for all that matters. So next episode, we might... Oh, our manpower guy just died. We'll get a discipline guy, it's fine. We might want to declare war, but we're going to have to be incredibly careful as to who on, because this could go peak tong very, very quickly. I also wonder, we might be able to boost... Gascony's at maximum trust. I'm trying to think if we have a way of boosting the odds of getting Gascony to vassalize to us. I don't remember if diplomatic reputation impacts this or not. I don't think we can. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see what our plans will be next episode. I appreciate you watching. Could be chaos soon. We will see. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye now. Thank you for watching the video, and if you'd like to see more, feel free to stick around.